Most American political elections, just like this one, generally are about the economy, but usually, probably within the first year of any president's term, there is some unanticipated foreign crisis, like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Right now, we have this awful thing that happened in Libya. An American ambassador, 3 other Americans were killed. You're aware of all the finger pointing, the back and forth. It was the work of terrorists. It wasn't the work of terrorists. What have you been able to find out about what happened?
Well, I think from the early days of that attack, it was apparent that this was not just a popular uprising. Number one, in Libya, there was no record of popular uprisings against the United States. In fact, the United States is pretty highly regarded in most of Libya, and particularly in Benghazi. This ambassador was incredibly popular in Benghazi. Secondly, they were well-armed and well-executed attack. It had all the markings of a military-style attack. Here's what's troubling. What's most troubling about this is that one of the narratives that the Obama campaign has laid out is that bin Laden is dead, they've bragged about that forever, and that al-Qaeda is in retreat. And you start to wonder that they basically say, do not allow any story to emerge that counters that narrative. Is that why for 2 weeks they told us that the Libyan incident in Benghazi was a popular uprising and not a terrorist attack, because it ran counter to their campaign narrative? I hope that that's not true, but that's what you start to wonder about. Let me point one more thing out. You said that early on in any presidency there's a moment of truth. This president had one in Iran. After the false elections there, the people took to the streets, and the president refused to line up with a green revolution there. He said he wasn't going to get involved in Iran's sovereignty. And the result has been disastrous. There is now no well-organized opposition in Iran because it was completely demoralized in its early days of its rebellion by the president's lack of engagement.
Let me go back just to that incident. In the beginning, the administration was first saying it appeared that it was the result of a spontaneous demonstration. The president said no, he had called it an act of terror from the first. Today, there are some American newspapers, the Los Angeles Times among them, the Washington Post, quoting CIA people as saying it may have been the work, may have been inspired by a spontaneous demonstration.
Well, that's not the evidence that you've seen. I mean, these folks were well-armed. It was a well-executed attack. And the truth is, let's find out the truth. Let's put all the facts on the table now so we can see exactly how it developed and we could know. But I can tell you that the markings of it, the weapons that they were carrying and the way that it was carried out in multiple stages had all the markings of a terrorist-type attack. And for 14 days, this administration did everything in its power, including on this show and others, that Sunday after the attack, to say that it was a popular uprising, that it was a spontaneous uprising linked to a YouTube video, which we now know not to be the case. Even the administration now admits that.